All right, so we are going to spend some time going over the syllabus just to make sure that you are familiar with everything on the syllabus. And if you do have any questions as we are moving through the semester, or even just after watching this video, feel free to message me. We're going to talk about how you can do that right now. So here we are. We are in Bio 110-60 because this is an online course here in fall 2019. My name is Brandis Hubbard. I just go by Mrs. Hubbard. And my email there is bahubbard@sc4.edu. I have that here just in case you need to contact me outside of Canvas, but I do prefer that you contact me via Canvas, even if it's as an email that you go through Canvas. We'll talk about that for just a moment, but that's basically because it is a way for us to communicate through Canvas, and what it does is it keeps all of the communications with each student kind of separate in files. And rather than if we need to go back and check one of our emails to see, what's been submitted or what has been said or anything like that, it's much easier to go into Canvas and then just click on my name or click on your name, and then we can see all of the communication that's happened rather than trying to search through our individual SC4 emails. So if you can, please do send me an email through Canvas. And you should know how to do that by going to the inbox in Canvas. If you have not already watched the introduction videos for that, please do watch the introduction video so that you can see how to use Canvas and where you would then email me through. Next here we have my office location, so that's CEM 206. I'm also available online via email, via Skype, and also via Remind, and Facebook now. I put a Facebook group on there too, so we'll see how that goes. My conference hours or my office hours, I am online Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So since I do teach a portion of my classes online, I have online office hours. That's Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you'll get a response from me during that time. Of course, that's dependent on how many other students are messaging me at that time, but I should be able to access everything and be discussing anything with you during that time if necessary. I'm also on campus. I have office hours on campus Wednesday evenings from 5 until 7 p.m. If those don't work for you and you need to get a hold of me, then we can talk at any other time. We can make an appointment and see what that works. Or see what works out for both of us. So that can either be on campus at an additional time, that can be texting through the Remind app, which we'll talk about in a moment, or it can be through Skype or messaging through Facebook. Whatever it is, please do not hesitate to contact me, and we can somehow meet up, even if that doesn't mean on campus. We can work it out. So the next section I have here is the Remind app. So this is how you can text me, and I ask that everybody does download this free Remind app. Here is the link for it. You can click on the link. It can bring you to it either on the computer, so it's available on the computer, it's available on smartphones, it's available on tablets. I do recommend that you download it if you use a smartphone, you download it on your phone, because this is an easy way for us to text each other. So this way I can text you, you can text me, but we don't share our personal information, so it just goes through the Remind app. Once you download the Remind app, then what you need to do is you can just go to your regular text message and you can send a text to this number, the 81010. This would be like the actual telephone number that you would type in for the telephone number. And then for the message that you would send, where you would typically write whatever it is you're going to say to the person, you would put at BIO11019 and then submit that, send it. Once you send it, it automatically enrolls you in our Remind classroom. Once that happens, you can just use the Remind app. You can go into the Remind app and see our class in there. You can text me either in the Remind app or in your regular text messaging area. And you can also text other students. So if you do, when we get to our study skills and you choose to do study groups, you will need to do the study group with other students in our class, in a way that you can contact them is through this Remind app, through text. You can also do it through Canvas, but this is one way. The Remind app, as we get down to contacting me down here, is the best way to get a hold of me. So the Remind app is just text message. I can get back to you very quickly that way, depending on what the question is, of course, or the concern, but then also emailing me. I do have next on the list, there's my office phone number. I also put /voicemail because I'm not often in my office. I'm typically teaching classes when I'm on campus, with the exception of my office hours. But that is my phone number there. You can call that during my office hours. I'll be able to answer it, likely, unless I'm with another student. But if I'm not, then you can even leave a voice message there and I'll get that voice message. The next one is my Skype name. If we do end up Skyping, then that is available there. And then the next one is the Facebook group. This semester I've decided to create Facebook groups for each of my classes. I have been posting some live videos in those Facebook groups, just kind of giving updates on information, kind of giving reminders on due dates and things like that. So I feel like it's been a good tool that I've started to use throughout the semester. If it doesn't end up being a good tool for anybody here, then certainly we can get rid of it or we don't have to use it anymore. And also it's not a requirement. So I have it here just in case you are somebody that prefers to use Facebook or you use it often, and that would be an easy way for you to get updates or an easy way for you to get information for the class. Rather than having to go in and check Canvas or check your email, you can just see it kind of pop up on your Facebook. So please do join that if you would like to join that. If not, you'll still get information regarding updates and you'll still get information regarding important information for the class through our Canvas site. You just may have to go in on your own and see that in the Canvas site. The next one is what I've already mentioned as far as contacting me. So via text or text via Remind or email is the best way to get in touch with me. Outside of my class time hours, outside of conference hours, so you can text me using the Remind app. And then you can email me through Canvas, like I said, through the inbox in Canvas. I do check my phone several times a day, and I usually respond within 24 hours, except for possibly weekends. There are some days that I'm pretty busy during the day, so sometimes it does take me a little bit longer to get back. But some days it's immediate. So our class time and location, our location is online starting this September 16th and going through December 13th. Our course website. So the course website where we'll be getting all of the information and communicating is through Canvas. So you should be familiar with Canvas. You will likely be watching this video based on the fact that you have accessed it via Canvas. But that is where you will need to be accessing things every day. So our course website on Canvas is where everything will be posted. So our lectures, our assignments, and any other optional material. Some of the assignments require other things like Java or Flash Player, PowerPoint, Adobe Reader, things like that. So if you go to this link that I have here, this online classes SC4 webpage, you can go there and you can download some of those plugins that are necessary for the course. It also tells you what the requirements are, the system requirements, just to make sure that your computer or your phone or whatever is going to be able to handle the requirements of the course. If you do have any difficulty accessing anything as we are working through the course, I do suggest that you contact IT. And here's their telephone number, the IT help desk. You also can email them. If you go online, you can access the help desk that way. You can call them and they can walk you through lots of things. So I can answer questions based on technology, but I don't sometimes have the answer. Sometimes IT is going to have to actually be on the phone with you and walk you through something if it's a more serious problem. However, it is important that you are able to access Canvas. So if you're struggling with that, please contact IT as soon as possible. We will be turning in assignments through Canvas as well, so that's where you'll access the assignments and turn them in. If you are having internet connection issues or your computer issues, or if you don't have a computer internet access at home, there are computers in the library, so you can always go there and you can access all of this on Canvas through the library. We will be using Canvas and email frequently in this class, so it's important that you check your Canvas course and your SC4 email, also within Canvas, regularly in order to do well. So again, I will be posting things like different announcements based on some changes perhaps, or answering student questions, things like that. So it's important that you be able to access Canvas. Again, if not, there's a help desk number, and then I just have put in here the student email to be able to access Canvas, and password is the same as your portal password. Textbooks. I do not have a required textbook for this course. That's because I prefer to keep classes as inexpensive as possible. I don't want students to feel the need to purchase a textbook on top of already purchasing the course. So I do, however, have optional textbooks listed here, and that's just simply for students that feel like they need to have some sort of textbook. I don't reference the textbook. I don't have any assignments out of the textbooks or lectures out of the textbooks. Nothing is coming out of this OpenStax Concepts of Biology textbook, except that it is a good resource for the course if you feel the need to have a textbook. So you can access it for free online, or you can get print copies at the bookstore or on Amazon. I also put this other optional resource on here, a visual analogy guide to chemistry. So if you need to brush up on some chemistry, then that's available too. It's just a good guide. Again, I don't reference it in any way at all in the course. Our course description, I don't need to read that to you. That's something that is out there for the course. Same thing with our objectives, so things that we will be accomplishing throughout this semester. I will mention our general education objectives. This is important because this is new to the college right now, that every single class that you take at the college should address these general education objectives. So it includes learning activities that are designed to build competency in these areas. So quantitative reasoning, civic responsibility, information literacy, and communication. So as we are working through the semester, there will be assignments that are meant to address any of these, all four of these, multiple of these, all at the same time. So this is because SC4 believes that you should have a strong base once you leave the college, regardless of the classes or number of classes or amount of classes you've taken. Next, I have disability support services. So if you have a disability that interferes with your ability to succeed in this class, please do contact the Achievement Center. I have their location, their telephone number, and their email there to discuss accommodations. So it's confidential. You can just go in there, you make an appointment, go in there, speak with the people in the AC, and then once they have evaluated the situation, you've had a communication, then they will let me know only if arrangements need to be made by me in order to accommodate anything in the class. So this could be something like if you have, dyslexia, if you have hearing issues, if you have visual issues, perhaps, partial blindness or full blindness, whatever the case is, if you have some sort of disability, you feel like you need some sort of assistance for the class, please do contact them. They're great people. They can evaluate things, and then we can come up with a solution. Student Code of Conduct. So you need to read through the SC4's Code of Conduct on the portal in order to get the details that you are agreeing to the Student Code of Conduct. There's a link here for you to access that. Also, just in regards to student conduct, a reminder that work that you submit must be your own. So copying answers is considered cheating. So this means anything. So from other students, from textbooks, from websites, from YouTube videos, anywhere else that is not from your own brain with your own thoughts is considered copying, and it's considered cheating because it's plagiarism. So cheating of any kind will result in a 0 on the assignment. First time you copy something from a website, have the same answer as a student, have the same answer from any textbook or anything out there, that will result in a 0 on the entire assignment, regardless of how small that is. The second offense, so you'll get a 0 on that, and I'll warn you, saying that it was a plagiarism issue, and that's why you received the 0. The second offense, I will report it to SC4. So this will be reported on your permanent SC4 record. You'll receive a 0 on the item, and you will incur further academic repercussion up to and including failure of the course. So please don't plagiarize. A 0 that you earn by cheating can't be dropped, replaced, or made up. So remember that when you are writing down things, when you are taking notes, it's okay to write down what I have written for the notes. It's okay to write down the lecture notes as we are going along. That's fine. However, when I'm asking for other things like essay question answers, none of those should be exactly what was written anywhere else. What you need to do is you need to take that information that you have written on your notes, for example, and you need to have that in your brain and spit back out using your words, using your brain, that information, showing me your understanding. So if you have any questions about that, please do let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it just to make sure that you are doing the right thing. I want to make sure that everybody's doing the right thing. If you have questions about how to do the right thing, just let me know. Next, we have student resources. So you will need to spend time outside of kind of the typical hours that we would be in class, even though this is online. Just some links or some ideas as to how to do that. So there is free tutoring at the Achievement Center in the College Center. I do highly recommend utilizing free tutoring, so that's there. I also have some extra Canvas links with tutorials and images and things like that. There's a biology learning resources collection at the library. It's kind of models and equipment and things. We don't have a lab portion to this class, so it's not required that you do anything hands-on in that way. It's just there if that would be helpful to you. I have my conference hours. I'm able to help you individually. Please come and see me if you're having a difficult time in the class, if you're struggling. Don't wait until halfway through the semester. We want to make sure that if you're not doing as well as you want, that you come and talk to me while there's still the opportunity for things to change. So make sure that you do that. Please email me as soon as possible so we can communicate. And then, of course, 5 is email me or text me with any questions anytime. And it can, I really mean anytime. It can be in the middle of the night. So if you sleep in the day and you work at night and on your break you're working on your homework and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. Feel free to shoot me a text. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes it might be at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes that might not be until the next day. Some other tips here. If you're struggling in the course, please come in and talk to me. It doesn't have to be, coming into my office if that's not possible for you. It can just be sending me an email or a text, something to communicate. Oftentimes, we've been able to work out something, a student and myself, to try to make sure that things go more smoothly in the class. I will work with you to the best of my ability to address any problems you have that are related to the course, because my goal is for everybody to pass the course. So I want everybody to succeed in the course. I want to do what I can to make sure that that happens. However, sometimes, especially if there's some large personal issue, that might not be possible. So in those cases, it might be best to withdraw from the class. But please come and talk to me first. I have some tips for studying here. One thing I do note here again is study groups. That is an option for some of the homework assignments, but remember that if you do study in groups, it needs to be other students from this class. So some different things in here for you to take a look at, tips for studying, tips for taking exams. And then we're going to get now into our course approach. So according to the federal definition of a credit hour, students are expected to spend 2 hours outside of class for every hour they spend in class at a minimum. So in order for this class to meet the federal definition of a credit hour, or the 3 credit hours that are a part of this class, then I need to make sure that the course is rigorous enough to have students spend 2 hours outside of class for every hour we would spend in class. So class for this 3 credit course would be considered 2 2-hour periods. Totaling 4 hours per week in a typical 16-week semester. So this is actually, I have it condensed down to 6 weeks. It's condensed down to 12 weeks. So our time is just slightly different, and I'm going to change this. So this would actually be doubled. So since this class is condensed down to 12 weeks, class time would be considered about 5.25 hours per week at 2 hours of study time for each hour in class. That means that one would be expected to spend about 10.5 hours outside of class on materials. Since this is an online class, the quote in-class time would be included in the total, giving a total time spent per week on this course to be about 16 hours. So please plan your schedules accordingly. So think about your schedules and determine if and when you can fit in 16 hours worth of course time. So that is time that you would be spent in class, meaning while you're watching the lecture videos, taking notes, completing assignments, and then outside of that, meaning just general studying time. I do encourage you to study in groups. That can be very helpful. Also, there's tutoring available at the AC. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Okay, so just please at the beginning of the semester here, be honest about your study style. Some people will spend less than those 16 hours a week. Some people will spend more than 16 hours. And it varies week by week too, depending on the individual student. So please just be aware of that. So next we have grading. Grades are based on points that are earned from lecture notes, homework assignments, quizzes, study skills assignments, and exams. So each of these items will be present in each of the 5 complete units of the class. Grades will be posted on Canvas throughout the semester. All work is due on the due date shown by 11:59 p.m. And this is going to be a little bit more clear as we move through these assignments and get to the schedule. But I want it to be in multiple places on the syllabus so you know this. So typically, with the exception of the final exam and the body systems unit, due dates will be Sunday of each week. So think to yourself, for the rest of the semester, every Sunday at 11:59 p.m. you have something due for Bio 110. The final exam and the body systems unit are going to be due by Friday, December 13th, and that's because this is the last day of the semester. And I will remind everybody of that when we get closer to that due date. Please note that absolutely no late work will be accepted. I do make allowances. There are 2 of them called free passes, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But again, no late work will be accepted. So make sure that you understand that every Sunday you have assignments due and that you get into our Canvas course. I recommend daily, but certainly at the beginning of each week so you can see what amount of work will be done that week, and then certainly at the end to submit those assignments and get them in before Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So let's take a look at our different pieces of the semester here. So you're going to be graded on these different things. The first one are the lecture notes. So each week you will watch lecture videos on that specific unit topic. You will be taking notes on these videos as you watch them, and then they will be submitted digitally through Canvas. So keep in mind that lecture notes should be comprehensive, so covering all of the material, and be legible. I have to be able to read it in order to grade them. So each unit's lecture notes are worth 20 points for a total of 100 points for lecture notes. We are going to talk more about lecture notes in the introduction to the class video if you haven't already watched that. But it's important, and I wanted to note it here as well, that when you submit assignments, that they are only one single document. It needs to be ending in a .doc or a .docx or a .pdf. So no images, no text, or no screenshots. It should all be one doc file or PDF file. So the second is our homework assignments. There are weekly homework assignments based on the material covered in the lecture videos. These are to be done individually, without assistance from others. The only way that you can do this with another individual or have a similar assignment or the same assignment is if I say otherwise. So it should be individual unless I say it can be group work. Homework assignments are to be completed digitally through Canvas. You'll only have one opportunity to answer each of the questions and turn in the homework assignment. So the homework assignment will be presented to you on Canvas as individual questions. One question will pop up. You'll answer that question, then the next question will pop up. So you won't have the opportunity to go back and answer that first question. Not all homework assignments are this way. Some of the homework assignments, particularly with the genetics section, is actually going to be a document that you need to print off, complete, and then upload your completed assignment. Each week's homework is worth 10 points, and that's a total of 50 points from homework. Quizzes are next, so practice quizzes will be provided each week that will assist in your understanding the material from the lecture videos and prepare you for the exam. So quizzes are taken digitally through Canvas. Quizzes may be taken multiple times with the highest score maintained as the grade for the quiz. So For the quizzes, I highly recommend that you use them to study for exams by taking them multiple times. A lot of the questions that you'll see on the exam are on the quizzes. So if you go in and you take the quizzes over and over again, you will see many of the questions, you'll feel more comfortable with the questions, and you'll also gain understanding of that material. You can take them prior to the due date over and over again, and the highest score will be maintained as the score. So even if you get, say, a 20 on a quiz and you go back in the next day and you don't do as well and you get a lower score, that 20 will stay your score for the quiz. We have each of the unit quizzes are worth 20 points for a total of 100 points for the quizzes. Then we have our study skills assignments. Part of this course, as it's written in the catalog, is to assist you with basic study skills for college courses. So each unit is going to have a study skills assignment associated with them. They are worth 10 points for a total of 50 points for the study skills assignments. So these are the assignments where you would typically need to print off the assignment and complete it with pen or pencil, and then you can take photos, compile it into a document, and upload it as a document. Or you can complete it on the computer so long as it makes sense and I can read it and it works out just fine. So it just depends on the student, what they prefer, and also your level of understanding with computers and being able to manipulate things in that way. Next we have our exams. There are 5 regular exams, one at the end of each unit. The format includes multiple choice, matching, labeling, drawing, short answers, and essay. The exam will be taken digitally through Canvas. There are no makeup exams. Missed exams are recorded as 0 points. Due to the cumulative nature of the material, exams could contain questions from previous sections. Each unit exam is worth 100 points for a total of 500 exam points. So this please note that I have here is very important. So please note that exams must be completed without using your notes, books, online sources, or other people or other materials. So the only thing that should be used to answer any questions on the exam is your brain alone. Please be sure that your exam screen is the only app or web page open on your device during the exam. Do not leave your exam app, tab, or screen during your exam, because if you do leave the screen, it will be considered cheating. So after you take an exam, I will go into the exam and I can see if a student left the screen. I can see how long a student leaves the screen if they left the screen. I can also see how long they take on each question, or how little they take and how many times they go back to a question. So it's important that you understand that you really need to not plagiarize here, not cheat here, that the only thing you have open is the exam on your computer or your phone or tablet, whatever you're using to take it, and that you do not veer away from that, that it's just your brain that you're using to answer the questions. If you do leave the exam page, if I do see that you have left the exam page during the exam, your score will be decreased according to the severity of the offenses and may result in a grade of an E for the course and a report being filed with the college. So if we take a look at it and we can see how it is, see the severity of the case, and we can discuss it. Sometimes that may result in a fail of the course and also filing with the college, sometimes not. So please, however, be sure to not leave your screen. Do not use any resources other than your own brain to answer the questions. So the final exam, there's a required cumulative final exam. It covers material from the entire semester. It's worth 200 points of your grade. This one also is taken online, also will be timed, and also you need to not use any resources other than your brain. All right. So in summary, final grades are determined by the percentage of the points you earn out of the total number of possible points throughout the semester. Grades will not be curved. I do not intend to offer extra credit, so commit yourself to striving for excellence in this class throughout the semester. So really make sure that you are doing your best work, submitting your best work all the time, and don't count on any extras because I don't provide extras. Here are the free passes that I was talking about. So remember that I do not accept any late assignments, with the exception of a serious situation that would need to be brought to my attention as soon as possible, and then I would evaluate it. So for example, if you were in an accident or somebody was in an accident and you were staying in the hospital for a really long time, I could get a doctor's note from you, and then that would excuse you from things and you could make those up. In lieu of accepting late assignments, however, I am providing every student 2 free passes for the semester. So a free pass means that if you have technical difficulties, like if you thought you uploaded an assignment but it didn't actually upload, or if you thought you uploaded an entire assignment and only uploaded 1 page, or if your internet goes down and you're just not able to submit anything, those would be different types of technical difficulties, which would not mean that you could turn in anything late. What that means is that you could use one of these free passes. Or if you accidentally turned in the wrong assignment or just didn't complete it, you will not be penalized for missing them. This does not include exams, however. So you may not use a free pass on any exam or the final exam. In order to use a free pass, you have to email me with your intention to use it. Make sure that when you do email me that you include all of this information here. So you need to email me within a week of the due date for the assignment you intend to use it on. You have to email me. If you miss an assignment and you do not email me, I am not going to assume that you're using a free pass. It will just be a 0. So make sure that you do email me. Make sure that includes your full name, the class you're in, and what assignment you want to replace with the exempt score. Again, I will not assume anything, so you have to contact me with this information. Free passes can use anytime throughout the semester. So all assignments will be graded as soon as possible after the due date. Corrections will be written on the assignment itself and or in the comment section of the assignment on Canvas. So it just depends on the feedback that's required. You are responsible for keeping track of your scores and confirming that they are correct. You're encouraged to check your score after each exam. Any disagreements with any of your scores must be brought to my attention within 1 week of the scores being posted. So after that time, I will not adjust scores. So this is a situation where I'm trying to prevent anybody from feeling like once we get to the end of the semester, if you're not exactly at the score you want or the points that you want, you're not going to go back through the entire semester and try to find situations where things might not have been exactly as they should be. This doesn't often happen, but make sure that you're checking your scores and you're contacting me if you have any questions. So here is the table breakdown. So we have our type of assignment over here, our lecture notes, homework, quizzes, study skills, unit exams, and final. The number of points for each of them, how many times that happens in the semester, and then the total points for the class. This is the scale I will use on the 3s here for your grade. That's also what's listed in Canvas. So then we get down to our schedule. So here you can see the different weeks, and then we have our different units and the time we spend on each unit. And over here we have the due date. So this information in the middle is what we are covering and what you should be familiar with or what you should be looking to as far as what you need to do throughout the class. Now in the introduction video, if you have watched it, I will have gone through the modules in Canvas so that you can see what a module entails. But first, let's just take a quick look at this. So this first week here, we're doing the introduction. That's you watching these videos, doing the submissions and doing the notifications, things like that. Also, however, we're jumping right into things. And basic chemistry parts 1 and 2 are due by the September 22nd due date. Also, I recommend that you start Study Skills 1. Study Skills 1 requires that you record your days as you move through them for a week. So make sure that you start that early. Now, if you'll notice here, I have these different units. So week 1 and 2 are a part of unit 1. Unit 1 is basic chemistry unit. And what that includes is the basic chemistry units parts 1 and 2 for the first week, due September 22nd, are life and atoms. You'll need to do your lecture notes, your homework assignment, and your, up here. Here we go. So lecture notes, homework assignment, quizzes, and study skills assignment for each unit. And then at the end, you will need to take your exam for each unit. So I have just the basic pieces marked down here, but it's up to you as the student to make sure that you understand the modules and what's required and what's due when. So our first unit is basic chemistry. You can see that we have basic chemistry the first 2 weeks. Basic chemistry parts 1 and 2 are due September 22nd. So everything associated with parts 1 and 2 is due September 22nd. Everything associated with parts 3 and 4 are then due September 29th. However, the homework assignment is going to include all of these sections and is going to be due during this second week. So this week you have to do the work for parts 1 and 2, the second week for parts 3 and 4, but then also this week the exam is due, and so is the study skills assignment, and each unit, the end week of each unit, is when the homework assignment is due. So homework assignment and study skills assignment and exam are unique to the entire unit. Some of these you can start whenever you want, though. I highly recommend that you start the homework assignment during the first week of the unit and don't wait until the last day, because if you do, it's going to be lots and lots of work to do and get turned in on the last day. So I recommend that you spread it out, do your notes, and as you're doing your notes or after, you can study for the quizzes and get the quizzes done. You can work on the study skills and work through that. So just make sure that you are allowing yourself plenty of time to complete these assignments. Then I have the rest of the units here. So similarly, Unit 2 is organic chemistry. So the parts that you're supposed to cover each week, this one's 3 weeks long. And then on this third week is Exam 2, organic chemistry is due. And then same thing with these terms here. So, also, and then at the end you can see here, these are all different Sundays. Remember, it's due by 11:59 p.m. All the assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. With the exception of this last week. This last week is the body systems partial unit. As we get closer to it, I will send you information about that or post about it. And then also the final exam. This is, again, cumulative and required to pass the class. And that's due on December 13th, which is a Friday, and that's because the semester ends on a Friday. And again, as we get closer, I will be addressing that and reminding everybody. All right, so that is the syllabus. This is our schedule. Make sure you're familiar with it. Also, the modules will have that information. If you have any questions, again, I recommend you download this Remind app and then text me your questions or email me your questions and I can get back to you with them. So I look forward to the class. I hope that it works out well for you and it works out well for me and we have a great time. Thank you very much.